Survivor Series is this weekend. Is CM Punk returning is a big question. No. But what's to this Sunday Survivor Series, one of the big 4 pay-per-views in WWE, and honestly, outside of WrestleMania, this might be one of the best cards I've seen so far this year, because every other WWE card has been alright. I asked you guys on Twitter if I don't get the majority of my predictions correct, which is 5. I asked you guys to give me punishments, and the one that kind of caught my eye the most, Retro Astro said eat wet cat food. Sure, why not? But these are my 2019 WWE Survivor Series predictions. First, starting off, Adam Cole's gonna defend his NXT Championship against the winner of the Triple Threat TakeOver War Games, which is Pete Dunne, Damian Priest, and Killian Dane. So who I think is gonna win that match for start is gonna be Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's been working his hardest. He probably is the most recognized guy in that match, so it makes sense that he would probably be on the biggest stage possible for that NXT Championship match. Who's gonna win? Adam Cole. I don't see why he would drop his title at Survivor Series. It would be cool. It would be a cool moment for NXT, but I just can't see them have a title switch like that happening. We have guys like Balor and Tommaso and Johnny Gargano that honestly look more in line to actually win that title from Adam Cole next. The Fiend Bray Wyatt is defending his now blue Universal Championship against Daniel Bryan. First off, thoughts on the Universal title, because it's blue now. I mean, it's cool. I mean, like, I thought I was gonna hate it. I think I got used to seeing the red, so the blue is kind of weird to look at now. But I think as the months go on, we'll probably all get used to it. And it's not a bad look on Bray at all. I think the red was probably better suited for him, because like his whole like theme is like, you know, red lights for all his matches and stuff. So like a blue title just makes him look confused on what gang he's a part of. But will Daniel Bryan win a Crib Championship? Nah. This honestly could be such a good storyline, but it hasn't had enough time to really be built correctly. There's so much more they really could have done with the story, but it kind of just sprung upon us like, you know, one random week on Miss TV. So like that's a little disappointing, but Daniel Bryan usually has really good matches at Survivor Series. I mean, look at the one with Brock Lesnar, or even back in like 2010, the one with Dolph Ziggler. That was a banger. But I just can't see why Daniel Bryan is gonna win that Universal title. Maybe down the line, but just not anytime soon. It's just not the date for you, Daniel. Because it is Raw vs. SmackDown vs. NXT, there's a bunch of triple threat matches having all the champions, minus the world champions on each brand, because they just didn't want to do that. I guess Adam is a little small to be facing big old Bray and big old Brock. But for the mid-card titles, it is a US title versus the Intercontinental versus the North American, having AJ Styles take on Shinsuke Nakamura and Roderick Strong. Personally, I feel like this is where you need to establish Nakamura as the Intercontinental Champion, making the Intercontinental title feel really important. Yes, you could build up Roderick. Yeah, AJ could win, but a win for AJ means nothing. A win for Roderick could mean something, but I just think Nakamura needs it more. That title needs it more. The Intercontinental title used to be the stepping stone to the World Championship, and now it's just another belt. The Intercontinental Champion needs to get the win in this match because he needs to prove why that title is the stepping stone to being the next face of the company. I think it's a bad look at Roderick gets pinned, so I'd rather see Nakamura pin Styles. A loss for AJ Styles doesn't hurt him ever. A loss for Nakamura hurts him a lot. A loss for Roderick, I mean, it's kind of expected, so it's not really hurting him at all. So Nakamura needs this win. The Intercontinental title needs that win, and not by cheating with Sami Zayn. I mean, Nakamura just needs to win. The women on SmackDown, the women on Raw, and the women on NXT are all facing each other on 5-on-5-on-5 women's handicap Survivor Series tag match thingy. As of right now, the NXT teams haven't been announced yet, but we can assume it's like people like Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai. People like that will probably be on that team. But on Raw, we do have Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan. I forgot you're with the company, to be honest. And Team SmackDown are Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. I just don't like these teams at all. I mean, like, if anything, I guess Raw has the best team. I don't know what NXT is, but Raw just seems to have the better team, so I don't see why they would lose. We have Charlotte and Asuka and Natalya and Kairi Sane, and yeah, I guess Sarah too. Like, that just sounds like a team that just actually can't be beat, because veteran status is through the roof. On SmackDown, you kind of have some newer wrestlers, maybe not the best ones in the world, like Carmella and Dana Brooke. Not a knock to them. It's just like they're just newer and a little greener in comparison to the others, you know? NXT, I mean, they're just not as known at the moment. So I'm just gonna go with Team Raw. You got Charlotte Flair, you got the win. Simple. All the tag team champions are also going to be facing each other, which is kind of weird to think about. Like, how come the NXT UK tag team champions are involved in this? But it's whatever. The Viking Raiders are taking on the New Day, taking on the Undisputed Era. To me, I was more interested when the Revival was in this match. It just seemed like better wrestling with them. I respect the fact WWE's putting the New Day on this. I mean, Kofi was just world champion only a couple months ago. If he wasn't on Survivor Series, I probably would have been upset about that. So, you know what? Fair play. I don't see the New Day winning this, so I'm completely going to cut them out of the equation. So is it Viking Raiders, who are pretty much undefeated, or is it Undisputed Era, who could probably definitely use the win? I'm gonna have to give the Viking Raiders. I think we need to establish some more as like these dominant, you know, big dudes. Again, Undisputed Era taking a loss doesn't hurt them, but a win could really help them. But I'm just gonna give it to the Viking Raiders because it sounds the most realistic of them actually winning this. But Undisputed Era winning, I'm not complaining about it at all, but we just gotta go with Viking Raiders. I feel like they just need it more. 5 men from Raw, 5 men from SmackDown, and 5 men from NXT are all facing each other as well. Team Raw, we have Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet. That's a really good team. SmackDown, we basically have Team Hogan from Crown Jewel, Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali. Who's Mustafa Ali now? He gave his name back. Thank you. Shorty G, Braun Strowman, and King Corbin. And then Team NXT, we can assume would be people like Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. And I would love personally to see Leo Rush on that. They need to have a Cruiserweight Championship match on this pay-per-view. It could be like Leo taking on a former Cruiserweight of SmackDown and a former Cruiserweight of Raw. You know, it could be like Leo versus Cedric versus Gulak. But I digress, but probably people like that. Also, I'd love to see Finn Balor be on Team NXT, by the way. He brings a star power because he was on Raw and SmackDown previously. He was on WrestleMania. He was Universal Champion, blah, blah, blah. Probably should be NXT, but then again, I haven't gave SmackDown a win yet. Gonna say Team SmackDown, but preferably Team NXT is probably gonna get the win, which I'm perfectly okay with. Triple H has been leading this movement. I know a lot of people want him to be part of the team, which personally I think would be really cool. So I'm gonna say Team SmackDown, but it's probably just gonna be NXT. Every single women's champion is also facing each other. Of the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on the NXT Women's Champion and Shayna Baszler taking on the SmackDown Women's Champion of Bayley. And again, where's NXT UK? Why is this even a belt? Kaylee Ray deserves more credit. Where is she in this match? Should be Fatal 4-Way. This needs to be for Becky. Becky was supposed to have her come out party last year when she was facing Ronda Rousey. She needs to beat Shayna Baszler in this match. I want Becky to pin Shayna. Shayna gets so upset she gets rid of the NXT Women's Championship. She comes up to Raw. She beats down Becky, and that also brings in the return of Ronda Rousey. And then we finally get our Becky versus Ronda storyline. Then you get a nice little Becky Shayna feud until Ronda comes back, maybe like the Rumble or something. Then boom, Becky, Ronda, WrestleMania 36. And finally, what's supposed to be the main event, I guess, is gonna be Brock Lesnar taking on Rey Mysterio for the WWE Championship in a no-holds-barred, no disqualification match. But before we get into my actual prediction, Brock freaking Lesnar has some of the greatest Survivor Series matches ever. Like, he's underrated in that he actually should be called Mr. Survivor Series because all his matches are lit. The Goldberg match, the Styles match, the Bryan match, and now you got Rey Mysterio, and he could have had that Jinder Mahal match. I wish I saw that. Brock Lesnar is Mr. Survivor Series as far as I'm concerned. There's a lots of reasons to hate Brock Lesnar, but his matches at Survivor Series are always bangers, and that's a fact. But who's gonna win this match? Is it gonna be Rey? Is it gonna be Brock? Is it gonna be a long match, a short match, a squash match, an entertaining match? Given his track record facing smaller guys in Survivor Series, it's gonna be a longer match. Pretty sure Brock's gonna win, but I'm gonna say Rey Mysterio. When I was 10 years old, Rey Mysterio was one of the first wrestlers I ever got to watch. He was so amazing. That CM Punk storyline where Rey either had to give up the mask or join SCS, like that was so intriguing. CM Punk saying happy birthday to his daughter and he's such like a jerk. I'm like, oh, I just think Rey is gonna win this championship. I don't know why. I don't know how, but he's going to. With the help of Kane and Dominic possibly, I think Rey Mysterio might be getting a dub. In 2019, Rey's gonna be WWE Champion. That's more than 24 hours. Just stay away, Cena. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much Survivor Series predictions. Tell me yours in the comments down below. Also, answer the pinned question in the comments down below. Where do you think ACH is gonna sign next? Yeah, he has some independent days coming up. The whole stuff being Jordan Miles and the t-shirt was... I wish I had enough time. I was gonna make a video about it. I had so many thoughts of everything that happened in that. That's a situation in itself. Do you think he's gonna go back to Impact or New Japan or AEW or MLW? Who knows? Between the ones I just said, because it's definitely not gonna be Ring of Honor, I'm gonna say MLW. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we outie.
We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze.